Hello and welcome to the next video of my rookies mid-season update. We're covering 80 carries, bot laners in this one. Not quite as many as the top lane role. What do we have? 2, 4, 6, only 8 here. But this role is the best of the group. There are some serious studs on here that have long-term potential and are already realizing it to some degree. Smash with D+. We saw glimpses of it last year with T1 and LCK Cup. He was one of the best players statistically in his role in the LCK in his time there before being replaced by Guma, who I think is better than Smash. But Smash was excellent in that moment, and he's only continued to do that on D plus Kia. About with Team Wii has been a stud. Despite that team struggling, especially right now in the spring split, About is not a reason why. Bull has kicked around. Technically still has rookie status. That'll be gone this year. When he played with DNF, he did not, and KDF, he did not lose his rookie status, and especially with Bro last year. An older player. So, like I've been saying, him and Yopa in particular on this board, two older players with the expectations being much lower. Their floors are higher, their ceilings are lower. I don't expect extreme domination by any means or tons of 1v9 potential. But Bull's been okay with Loud. Loud have a lot of problems. People want to scapegoat the Korean in Brazil for some reason. I don't really enjoy that nationalistic bullshit. I feel like it should eliminate a region from even being allowed to participate. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter who it is. The best player should play. I don't necessarily think Bull is the problem. Duda of Los, very good young player, and tons of potential. Like he could be 7 years younger than like Yopa or something. Like it's that much of a difference. Yopa has been very good with SK despite everything burning around him. Sajad leaves a lot to be desired. Lazy Feel, Vietnamese import in Korea. Like truly a trailblazer on KRX. Last year we saw him play with DRX at times as well. Didn't lose rookie status, but did play some games. Very good. And then Harkey getting his opportunity with MVK. So KDA-wise, everyone's okay. I mean, Lazy feeling about, dying a lot, but those teams aren't very good, so your AD carry is going to die. Sajed as well. Kill participation. People not really fighting around Sajed or Bull. Less than 60%. Those AD carries not really the vocal point of their teams. Not quite like Smash, About, or Duda. Farm. 10 plus is better. We want 10. 10 is my goal in mind when I look at an AD carry and if they're getting enough farm. We see Smash with 10.4, Giopa with 10, Harkey with 10.2, About 10.1. Duda 9.4, that means he's giving up 10 CS a minute to a player like Smash on average, not even counting the fact that the LCK is obviously a higher level of play than CBLOL. So there's a diffy between these two players, to put it mildly. And then ROI, damage divided by gold, and share differential. In the current meta, the 80 carries are getting around 25% of gold. If they are not getting the most gold on their team, it is a rarity in the current landscape of League of Legends. So a lot of the share differentials end up being 2 to 3%, and the player's still dealing the most damage. It's when you have a situation like About with 4, Yopa with 4, that you say, oh, these guys are really fucking carrying. Because they are getting the most gold, most likely, and then they are by far dealing the most damage. So those two doing a lot of the heavy lifting for their teams. A player like Sajad, not so much, 0.6. 1.39 ROI, that's terrible. That's terrible. That's where our gold is going down the shitter. Like, this guys have a lot of problems. Stylistically, players are just not stepping up and dealing damage, and it's a problem. I do not like passive players that lose games. You could say, oh, well, who likes a player that loses games? I mean, I'm talking about a player that goes down with a whimper and not a fight. So, this needs to be fixed. You want your AD carry to step forward, not step back. I say it all the time about a player like Berserker in North America doing very well and then going to Worlds and not being a player that steps forward. steps forward to deal damage and do some work. And ROI is really indicative of a player, in my opinion, that steps forward or steps back. About 1.63, Yopa 171, Lazyfield 165. I mean, they're dealing damage. Vision efficiency, Sajad 3.19, Harky 4.32. That is crazy high. That's very good. Vision control, probably some Ash games in there affecting things. Keep in mind, Ash will affect vision score. And rookies, I'm not really too upset if a player has a shitty vision efficiency, especially in the AD carry role, because the support should be doing a lot of that. Gold difference is very indicative of partially the support. Like the support could have a plus 200 and the AD carry have minus 100, and the bot lane duo is positive. You'd prefer your AD carry, of course, to have the gold lead. A player like Duda, 473 gold ahead. Los, at least in the West, I would say, are one of the best early game teams in the West. They really do have great laning and mechanics to get ahead. It's the mid to late game that just is an absolute fucking disaster, and the team can't close out games. It's very bad. Like the macro is shitty, but laning wise, these guys get ahead, and there's a lot of potential there for opportunities for that team to really go far in the playoffs and even play at international events, but they can't get it done. And for a 17, 18-year-old AD carry like Duda to be up 500 gold nearly on average at 15 minutes, he is doing a lot of work. But Lazyfield behind 645. I understand KRX are in a dogfight in the LCK, but that's not great. Every game he goes even, there's a game he's behind 1,300 gold, and we can blame Ondel all we want, but sometimes players have some agency of their own. I'm sure if we actually look at all the games, we're not going to blame Ondel for every fucking mistake that bot lane duo has. I'm sure it's a group effort. Solo kills, Duda and Yopa, 1 every 4 games. Usually I don't expect the AD carry to get many solo kills. Duda also had a ton of 2v2 kills. I think he had like 15 and 13 games, or 13 and 15 or something, in CB LOL in spring, in Split 1. Him and Ackerman, very aggressive and doing a lot of work in that 2v2. They're a strong group. Yopa alongside Mickey X doing a lot of work. Champions played. We got to keep in mind, Smash has played a shit ton of games already, as has About. 1 new one every 4 games. Sajad, 1 new one every other game nearly. Lazyfield as well. Harky only played 14 games so far. Has played 8 champions in 14 games. Wider champion pool, the better. You'd like a player like Bull to be leading in that category, as well as Yopa, with all of their games under their belt, stage opportunities to, in a organized environment, to develop a champion pool that has flexibility in what might come in a season format. But yeah, this group's really good. Smash, About, Yopa, Duda, Lazyfield. I mean, this is a really good group of players, and I expect most of them to have decent careers going forward, as we see, changing of the guard every season, and some players leaving and some players moving on up. So that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hopes again tomorrow.